we've already set up ourselves a very basic magma forge over here, so we're smelting some stuff already. We've gotten some copper thrones, tables, and things, and you know, we're getting started on really turning this into a fortress to be proud of. But we still got a ways away to go, and we need to set up our defenses now, which is going to be our priority for today, I think. And we're also going to have a look at sorting out our squad, because that is also not resolved. So I have been looking around on the game, just kind of whilst I wasn't here, and I think I've figured out the problem. It's to do with scheduling and just how this game works. It's just always been like a bit of an awful game in terms of like anything involving squads. But if we go to our equip here, it looks like the uniform didn't actually update properly. So if we just get rid of that, we're going to kill that uniform there, and we're going to add a uniform, and we'll just name this Axe Dwarf, because again, these are supposed to be Axe Dwarfs. And we'll go into details here, and we just want to go and add all of these things again so that they'll be able to go and get them. I'm pretty sure that the weapon that we want to assign is being used by somebody, so we'll have to resolve that as well. But if we can at least get this started, that'll be great. So let's just name this again, just make sure that's all done there. I'm pretty sure that didn't go through. If you click off the screen, it doesn't go through. You have to make sure that you're clicking the actual button. So you need to make sure that you're clicking it properly. It's I don't know. It's one of those things that has always been a bit funky, but I think it's actually gone worse in the transition from Dwarf Fortress to this one. So update equipment, and if we go to our schedule here, make sure that they're on ready here. I think that should be that. Let's just go check again. Equipment. I'm not sure. I'll try it this way. Let's just try that again. Specify everything like so. Confirm and save. Some time ago I had an issue with migrants never turning up. What was up with that? I can't remember exactly. There's like a few different bugs. That might have been a really old bug, I think. You don't always get migrants as well, because it partly depends on like how safe your fortress is. It's impacted by like the value of the fortress. So like having a high value fortress, I think, is supposed to attract more migrants than having a low value one. Yeah, it's just refusing to assign. I did this off stream, right? So I did this off stream, and it worked fine. And then the moment I start streaming, it's the moment I start doing this, it just stops working. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what would be the cause of that. So confirm. There, okay, this time it's assigned it, so it's actually assigned the uniform. So she'll go get dressed. What we need to do is we need to click on this dwarf here. He's holding this iron battle axe because he's using that to woodcut with, but we want to tell him not to do that. So I'm just going to forbid that item, and he should dump it on the ground eventually. How's the Goblin Siege of Coronation Street going? We haven't had any Goblin Sieges yet. We're probably due to get one soon, which is why we need to make sure that we got on some kind of defense, even if it's just something very basic. So what I was thinking was, the first thing we'll do is we'll make a new work order, and it's going to be for rock blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some rocks into blocks, and if the amount of rock blocks is less than 10, then we just want them to do that task. And I want them to specify, we'll do it out of the dacite. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Get rid of both of those. I don't know where those come from. Like, I don't know why we want to assemble adamantine bows. That's definitely not what we want to do. But all of our other tasks are fine. And I'm thinking what we want to do is we want to try and use this lava as much as possible. So you'll see here, we've got in this little area here. So I'm thinking to start, we're going to build a wall. That's just going to go from here to... well, once we've got on the blocks anyway, we're going to build a wall here and then across from here. And then we'll put another drawbridge in to close entry in and out of this. And eventually I want to set it up so that we have a chamber on this side. So I'm going to start digging this out here. I want to have a chamber on this side. That we can fill with lava. So that we can pump lava into the entrance of our fortress and then back out of it again. And that's kind of like the long-term goal. I don't know how far we'll get into doing that, but that's kind of like my idea. So my idea is to have it so we have an area here where we can dump. We can basically, well, to pump lava on top of the entrance to our fortress, and then pump it back out again. And whenever anybody nasty shows up to try and attack us. And the way we can do that is because the lava terminates here, so this is all open space. So we can have like a row of pump jacks along here. And so all the dwarf has to do is come outside, start pumping this. They can pump it into like a reservoir, and then we'll have a reservoir of lava ready to go. And then we can have a drain from this reservoir that leads into the entrance of the fortress, and then have a way to get the lava back out of here once we finish flooding it. So we'll probably try and drain it into maybe up here, for example, but just have like a drain underneath this so that we can put the lava into the bottom if we need to. But that'll be the idea anyway. Oh, and we've already had one lava casualty. We've had one lava casualty. Sorry, I'm just checking through the messages because I'm just reading through what everyone said so far. How did I not notice the minimap? Yeah, the minimap is really helpful. It's you know, it lets us see kind of what we're doing a bit more easy. And also how the Steam updates for DF coming along. I think they're coming along. It's been a lot of quality of life stuff and a lot of bug fixes, which has been what the main focus is. God, look how many geese we have. We have so many geese at the moment, and they're all stray goslings. Normally, I think what I would do is I would basically close the goose room so that the new ones that are being born can't escape. But I think I'm just going to wait until they've all grown up, and then we're going to do a mass goose butchering in order to make some food and also make some soap. Anyway, we've gotten some blocks, so we should have 40 blocks, I think. That work order that says create 10 blocks, it should actually make 40, so that'll be a lot of blocks to start. And the reason I'm using blocks is because oh, it's only 15. I guess I was wrong. But in any case, it's slightly more efficient to use blocks than it is to use regular stone for this, so that's what we want to do. And we also want to make sure that we build another bridge. That closes out up here. Just put it like that. So this way we can make a courtyard, basically, a dumping ground. We will have to move the yak and the animals that are here, because we're also using this at the moment to quarry our animals. But you know, that's going to be a long-term project. I think for now, so long as we get this set up as the very basics, then that'd be good. And we also want to make sure that we can protect this. So we want to put a roof over the top of it, perhaps, and or maybe not a roof, but we want to make sure that we're adequately protecting it. So let's just make sure that we're doing that. We'll put the rest of the wall here, and the rest of the wall here, and I'll get into how we can make sure that it's adequately protected in a minute. We just need to make sure that we're digging this out here. Being very careful not to breach the lava tube as well. But we want the dwarves to come and dig these out. Or actually, do we need them to dig it out? I think if we do, it'll be easier. So, yeah. On the other side of things, we've now finished building our tables and chairs. So this is our dining room, as you can see. It's slowly coming along. So we're just going to start putting these statues inside of here. And we've only got one material statue, just the copper statues that we made earlier. And we also want to start putting in those tables and chairs that we made. So a very, very basic, not very exciting dining room, but it's a dining room, and that'll keep the dwarves happy. They'll be pleased that we got a dining room, so you know, they'll have somewhere where they're actually able to eat. So we'll just tell them to place these in here. So we've got 3 chairs, 3 tables. We'll have another 3 on this side, and then we can always build some more and throw them in when we need to. The rule is for dining rooms, by the way, if you're new to this, is that each table requires exactly 1 chair, and you can't have having another chair on this side won't let a dwarf sit on the opposite side and use the same table. And also, we attracted no migrants this season, so that's unfortunate. Hopefully, that's not going to be a reoccurring issue because we could really do with some, right? Let's just make sure that this pasture is defined properly. So this here, we don't want to remove it, we just want to repaint it. So we want to make sure that it's defined as being inside of here, so that the animals don't walk past the drawbridge. And then we've already gotten this lever here. This one is linked to this drawbridge here. So we should probably, what we could do with is making another one similar to that. We'll probably just place it on the level below. So let's go and do that now. We'll place a lever here, and it doesn't really matter what material they use to do it, just make sure you get it down. So that's all of that. Having some problems like with the removing the ramps and things, that's fine, just so long as they get all this dug out. What I want to do is I want to place a floor on here. So don't use closest material, but use these blocks here, and then do the same on this side here, and use these blocks. And oh, actually, don't do it on that side. Do it on the. Yeah, we're gonna have to slowly cancel these one by one. I don't think there's a way to max cancel them, unless there is, and I just don't know where it is. Construction. This doesn't remove construction orders. It just removes chopping mining orders. It's so we had to go and cancel all of these individually, which is really irritating. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Oh, good grief. Cancel. 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 Okay, and the reason I want to do that, I'll explain it in a little bit, but it's to do with the way the walls and climbing work. So what we actually want to do is we want to go back into our constructions and we want to build a floor, but on the outside of the wall, not on the inside. So we're going to build a wall along the outside of the wall here. And we're just going to use those same blocks again. So we'll do it on this side as well. And the reason why is because in Dwarf Fortress, creatures are capable of climbing. So a creature is capable of climbing up a straight wall, although it does depend on their climbing skill. So, you know, most creatures aren't necessarily very good at it, but it is something you need to be aware of. One way that we can prevent them from being able to climb up the wall that we're constructing is if we make sure that there is a floor directly above where they're trying to climb. We have the wall here, and by having a floor here, they can't actually climb this wall because there's a floor directly above them. And so we want to make sure that there is a wall on the outside of the wall. Sorry, a floor on the outside of the wall so that they can't climb. This won't do very much at the moment, to be honest, because, you know, we've also got to consider that we've gotten the... you know, they can just come from the top, right? They can just jump down at the moment and jump into the fortress that way. But again, this is just the start of what's going to be a long-term project, and we want to just get some very basic stuff up and running. Now, I did notice that our miner, our first military dwarf, is now wearing that armor. So we can click on her and we can see that she's now started wearing her clothes. I think I've told her that she's only allowed to wear her clothes, which isn't exactly what I wanted her to do, but uniform worn over clothing is the correct option there. But she's gotten her armor on, which is the important thing. And we should also have a look and see whether our dwarf, whether I dwarf the what's his name, the woodcutter, this guy here, whether he's dropped the iron battle axe. He still hasn't. I'm not sure why he hasn't, because it is currently toggled to be dumped, which means that he's supposed to dump it. Unless maybe I don't have a dumping zone. No, I do have a dumping zone, so he should be dumping it here. I'm going to place a new dump inside, and I just want him to dump that item, you know, in the garbage dump so that we can then reclaim it. It's anything involving dwarves picking stuff up is a real finicky thing to do sometimes, and you know, once he's decided that he's going to pick up that axe, it's really irritating to get it back off of him. So I'm just going to put a garbage dump here, and hopefully he will cancel that that up there. So we've now built this out here, and I think what we want to do is we want to build another wall that goes all the way from here on top of here. And this is again why we're just going to need loads of blocks. So we want to have like a wall that extends all the way here. And we'll need to wait for them to construct more blocks anyway, but you know, this is the plan. So we'll have a wall here, and then we'll need to wall off this side up here as well so that they can't jump down from the top. But you know, it's a slow progress thing. It's going to take us a while to do that, and we got other things that we need to worry about as well whilst we're trying to resolve that. It could be a while before we get attacked. It could be very soon. If the worst happens and we do get attacked very early on and we're not in a position to defend, then all we'll do is we'll just close down the entire fortress and we'll have to turtle for a bit. But that is just, you know, it's the kind of thing that happens. Sometimes you know. Sometimes you're unlucky, sometimes you're not. So anyway, I've assigned this to be a dining hall, which means that dwarves should be able to use this freely, and that should mean that when they now go and get food and the likes, they should come into here and do that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a small stockpile in here, just on this center square, and it's going to be a bit of a strange stockpile, but we're just going to set this as a finished goods stockpile. We want to enable all finished goods except for a type here, and we're specifically going to say this is a finished goods storage, but only for goblets. So it's a tiny little space where they should be able to put goblets. Lava moat time. It's not going to be a lava moat as such. It's going to be It's going to be a lava drainage system. It's going to be to fill this square up with lava, basically. I don't think we'll have a lava moat. I mean, we could do, potentially. Although I'm not sure exactly how we would do it, what would be the safest way of doing it. My plan at the moment is to basically be able to fill this up with lava here. So we would have creatures come into here. We'd be able to close this gate here, fill this entire thing with lava, and then drain it back out. So what we would also need is we need to be able to drain it into a space. So we would do that by basically constructing a channel over here. Like, let's say we did it on this side here. So we'd have a channel. We don't want it to go that far down necessarily, but you get the idea. So we construct a channel down. Yeah, here. And then we would have, then we could drain off the lava onto the edge of the map. I haven't checked in with Dwarf Fortress since it got a proper UI. How is it? It's quite nice, to be honest. There's still some getting used to, especially when you've played a lot with the, you know, if you're familiar with the standard controls, it's a lot to get used to. But you know, once you're kind of there, I'd say it's a vast improvement, honestly. There is some stuff that's still a bit irritating. Like, I still don't fully get the interface for squads, and I'll probably have to do some more reading about it. Again, I'm thinking I'm going to upload this to YouTube, so I expect I'll have 100 comments telling me how to use the UI properly, and I'll read those comments as well and see what they have to say. But yeah, I'd say overall it is a very good addition to the game, and you know, it's just nice to have, basically. Can't really complain. So yeah, let's get some more blocks up on top of here. Where are my miners at? I've only got 2 miners, and they're both doing... yeah, that's it, because they're detailing walls, that's why. My insistence on having miners do detailing work is slowing things down, but that's fine. So what we want to do is, now that we've done that, let's set up a new order to just construct mugs, and we may as well just make copper mug goblets, I guess. We'll just tell them to construct forge copper goblets. We also want to make sure that this finished goods stockpile doesn't accept goblets. We want to make sure that they go into the one that we specified earlier. Is detailing work to improve morale? Yes and no. Well, yes, actually. Let's see. Where's the dining room now? So I can have this on screen when I'm explaining it. So this is the dining room. The fancier the dining room they're in, they'll get happy thoughts from being near the dining room. It also, we don't have a broker, so actually if I go into my broker tab here, and I'll just appoint one of these weaponsmiths as my broker, having decorations also increases the value of your fortress. So if we hover over this here, we can see roughly speaking how much the fortress is worth in terms of wealth. And that's both imported and exported goods. So we've imported 2,000, exported 1,000, and then you can see the value of everything that's in the fortress. But it also is useful for the miners themselves, because the miners don't necessarily get a lot of opportunities to construct things, and dwarves will often have thoughts that are, you know, like they'll sometimes have the desire to create something, to be creative. So it just gives them a chance to be creative. I don't like my miners to be making things, because I want them to be ready to mine whenever it's useful or important, you know. So that's why I like to put them on detail work, because I can always cancel the detail work if I need something done urgently. But it just gives them something to do that's like a creative, like I say, like that creative outlet. So let's get the rest of these tables and chairs in here. And let's also get the rest of these statues. Like this dining room is not worth a great deal. These statues are not worth very much, because this is a copper statue. Copper is not a high value metal. So you can see here the value of the statue is 100, which is not very much. Same for these tables. This one's valued at 30. If they were like legendary tables, they'd be worth a hell of a lot more. So we might have some like legendary weapons, perhaps. Let's have a look and see. So weapons. So you see, you can tell the value, by the way, by looking at the little icons next to the name. So this one is a masterful copper pick, and despite the fact that it's only a copper pick, because it's masterful, it's worth 100. Whereas like I don't know, another kind of copper pick wouldn't be worth as much. This one here, this is just a generic one, value 20. So that other copper pick is like 5 times more valuable, and that increases when you start using more expensive materials as well. Also, why is my thing popping up in Steam? That's the only bad thing, is that I forgot that you see the Steam overlay, so you get to see when people message me. So let's just quickly go offline on Steam. But the other thing that wealth does is it helps to attract attention to your fortress, which isn't always a good thing. So, you know, keep that in mind. All of these copper statues really suck, by the way. This is a well-designed copper statue of Kesting. He is the deity of the weather, the sky, the sun, rebirth, and death. We've got here a statue of the same god again. A statue of the dwarf. Thank you very much. Oh, thanks Dark Young for the raid as well. I don't think the alert box showed up for whatever reason, but thanks for the raid. We're doing some more Dwarf Fortress, and we've had a baby boy has just been born in the fortress. All right, let's just quickly check what's going on. Oh, he's still holding on to this pick. Okay, I know how to force him to drop it. So the other way that we can force him to drop the pick, the iron battle axe, is to kick him off the work detail, which should force him to drop it on the floor. So if we go to our tasks and our labors, and we say that we don't want anyone to be woodcutters, he should drop it on the floor. Throw it to the lava gods. We're not going to kill any dwarf children yet, although there is at least one dwarf in the fortress who's not very happy. Who is it? Oh, this guy. Thoughts. He's upset because he's not been able to pray to his god for very long. Oh, we're also running low on food and drinks, which is not good. I've been chit-chatting away without worrying about that. Let's set up a work task. So if the amount of drinks available is less than 50, so we currently have less than 50 drinks, then what I want you to do is I want you to set up a new order to brew 50 drinks, and a very simple sort of order, but that should kick in immediately because we don't have the requisite amount of drinks at the moment. We have 15. We want more than 15. We probably want about 100 at any given time. So yeah, you can see we've dug this out here. Unrotten plants. That could mean a couple of things. Plants. We have got plants. Sometimes that just means that we don't have any barrels. So if we go to barrels here, and we look through all of our barrels, we do have barrels that are available. So I'm not sure why they're being tasked with that, why that's coming up, unless it's just a misunderstanding. Yeah, because I see that there are empty barrels here. Yeah, they can brew drinks from plant. I'm not sure why they're telling us off for that. And I can see them doing it now, so I guess it just came up for a second. They throwing a bit of a tantrum about something. I'm not sure why. But yeah, this guy's now creating cave wheat in a fungi-wood barrel to make, I think, dwarven whiskey. So, yeah. Right, so over here, what we're going to do is we're just going to remove the ramps on this side. Well, we want to remove the ramps on the whole thing, effectively. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just have you... dig a channel right to the end of the map. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Voma. That could be the other thing, that they tried to all use it at the same time. In fact, it's just popped up again, but we can see the number of drinks we're getting is improving. And in terms of food, we've got shed loads of geese that we'll be able to butcher very soon. Once 1 year has passed, they will be adult geese, and then we'll do a mass goose slaughter, and then we'll use those for food as well. Hey, Goose, it's doing well, it's doing well. So, I'm taking this over to here, and we basically want to be able to drain water off of the edge of the map. Oh, not water, sorry. So you can see here that there's like a hard border here where we can dig out. We can't dig this out. But what we can do is we can smooth this out here. My fortress for an auto butcher quota. Oh, we just had a new baby. A girl this time. The bookkeeper's given birth to a girl. So we smooth that. Then, very simply, we're going to create fortifications on that wall here. So that means that lava should be able to flow off of the map by going through here, potentially. I mean, this might not work, and it'll be hilarious if it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure this is how it works. Alright, look at that, we've got 103 drinks now. You know, it takes very little time to get the requisite number of drinks sorted. Alright, so this iron battle axe has been dropped on the floor now, which is great, because that's what we wanted. So let's go into details here. New weapon, specific weapon, the iron battle axe. Confirm. And she should now go and pick up that iron battle axe off the floor and use that to, you know, as a weapon, which is what we wanted in the first place. Hey, Spurter, welcome. And it's already early summer, so we've already gone through 2 seasons. It's now summertime. We've got 18 population in this fortress, but 5 of those are children. 2 of those children are babies. So we don't have a big population at all. We have quite a small population still, which is unfortunate to say the least. But what I'm going to do now is, now that we've done this, we then build a bridge here. Alright, I actually just thought of something. Don't show this again. Stone use. This isn't a magma safe stone. I don't know if this matters. I have a feeling that it doesn't, but we should use a magma safe stone for these bridges, I think. And I'm looking here, mica, so we could just make an order to make rock blocks. Just set up a one-time order for... we won't need too many. I'll set it to 10. That should give us 40. And we want to just make them out of mica, so that we got some magma safe blocks, because this isn't magma safe. The thing that I'm concerned about is that if we fill this with lava, is the lava going to deconstruct the bridges, because the bridges are not magma safe? Now, they won't deconstruct walls, because walls are constructions, and constructions are immune to... Well, I mean, bridges are also constructions, which is why I'm not 100% sure on this. I have a feeling that magma will not destroy the bridge, because it's construction. But I don't know if that's actually true. I could be wrong. And, you know, when you're messing around with these sorts of things, sometimes you want to be a bit more careful than just wrong, right? Alright, we've gotten plenty of drinks. We're running low on other kinds of food. Which is why I want to butcher some of these geese. Because, again, there are just loads of geese, and we want to butcher some of them for food. Have we also got a... We got a tanner's workshop already. We got a kitchen. So that's good. And we could also then do a leather workers workshop, and we may as well stick it up here. So let's just go into that. So clothing and leather. We'll stick a leather workers workshop up here. And doors, yeah, that side doors. Both bridges and mechanisms should be made of magma-safe materials, if my memory remembers. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to set up the mechanism for doing this today anyway, so that's something that we'll come back and do. For now, the most important thing is making sure that we have enough of just making sure that we have enough protection from an early attack. I think that's the most important thing at the moment. So let's just cut down some trees. Because we ran out of wood. Oh, and we don't have anyone on cutting duty anymore. Let's just check you. Have you, Yeah, you've gotten the axe. So you've picked up the axe, which is excellent. Which means that we can now go back to our labor menus, go to our standing orders, put you back onto woodcutting duty, and you should go and pick up a different axe. I don't, instead of using the iron axe, you'll use copper axe. Is this Steam Dwarf Fortress? Yes, this is Steam Dwarf Fortress. So if you've never seen it before, this is what Steam Dwarf Fortress looks like. Well, basically the idea is to have a bridge over here, and we have it just on this one here. So we have a bridge over here that's just made of mica. I know it's going to look really hideous, but it's fine. It's going to look hideous, but it'll be okay. It's god awful looking, but that's fine. Let's also, let's just make sure that we're cutting down as many trees as possible because we might not get the opportunity to do that later. It doesn't help that we've only got one woodcutter. I suppose we could assign another one. But anyway, look at this beautiful dining room that our dwarves now have access to. Isn't it great? So as soon as they're done that, and our food is really low right now. So let's go and set some animals to be butchered. I'm just looking. It's because they turned all the plants into drinks. But then obviously we've not got any plants left. They should be growing more because they got on the seeds to do the growing thing. So if we go to our farms, you'll see we've got stacks and stacks of stuff growing. We do have eggs over here. I don't know if they can eat eggs raw. It might be the case that they need to turn them into food. Let's set up a cooking task and just start pumping out some meals then. So we want to come into here. Oh, why did this not get constructed? Resume construction. We want to come to here. And we want to go with easy meals just for now. Let's say prepare 10 easy meals if the amount of unrotten prepared meals is less than... Let's say if there's less than 30 meals, then you'll prepare 30 meals. And that should just be good enough. What we also want to make sure we do, though, is we go into our kitchen. We don't want them to cook plump helmets. They can cook beer and they can cook goose eggs. So they then should go and use the goose eggs to go and make some goose egg biscuits with the beer. And that should help us with our growing food problem. So somebody should get on top of that as soon as the order has been set by the manager. I don't want them to, to start starving to death. But again, we can also just stick... we can probably just butcher one of these geese. It would be worthwhile butchering a goose, actually, just real quick. So that we can tell them that we don't want them to cook tallow, because we want to use tallow in order to make soap. So why don't we consider setting up our soap industry just now and getting that out of the way. So we'll never need much soap, but we'll always need some. So if we set that up now, then that would be a good thing to do. So we're going to need a lye, which does mean we're going to have to make ash and we will need a wood furnace and an ashery. So we will need at least one wood furnace. I'd forgotten that we would need one for that. So over here we'll need a... Oh yeah, it doesn't require fuel in order to use a wood furnace, so actually we can do that on this level perhaps. So let's just do that. We'll set up a workshop down here, and we want to set up a wood furnace just in the corner, and just use whatever's nearby. We're also going to need an ashery, which I'm guessing is in farming maybe. No, I don't see it there. Furnace, is it in here? Ashery. Oh, it's right here. I'm just blind. Oh yeah, we need a bucket for this. So let's just set up a task to make some buckets. We'll make some out of copper, because why not? We've got plenty of copper. Bucket. and I want to get them some experience in just making things. So if we get them to make these like random objects, then they'll, we'll start to get some experienced blacksmiths on the go. So we'll tell them to make those buckets. We don't need anything else because we're going to use tallow, and we get that from rendering fat. So we only need the wood furnace and the ashery. So the basic setup is yeah, I know it's telling me off. It's because I brewed all my food into drinks, but that's fine. I'm not too concerned about it because I'm just going to tell them to butcher an animal, and then we'll have. I'm not sure what we'll butcher. Maybe one of these. Maybe like the yak cow. We should probably just butcher one of the geese. So this gander here. It's time for you to be slaughtered. So they'll get onto that, and then they'll have. The first goose goes down. Look at that. The amount of food that we got has immediately gone up. So this is what you get from a goose. Right. So the other thing we need to do now is I think you should have auto tallow on. Oh, we've also got some boost bones and things. You should set up some stuff to utilize that. Render fats. Did we not? Has that already been rendered? Oh, there's probably somebody. Probably somebody is using that. So we want to go to our tasks. A kitchen. Yeah, you can use all these things. You can use these things. You can use these things. Don't want you to cook pump helmets. Yeah, that's good. To bring more traffic, we need some drama. Nothing stirs drama like romance. No, I don't think I don't think we need to bring more viewers to the channel with drama. To be honest, I think we need the opposite of that. I'm fine as things are. So anyway, Dwarf is going to render that fat into tallow. What we want to do is we want to set up on this kitchen screen here a rule that says that they're not allowed to use tallow in cooking orders because we don't want them to cook all of that valuable goose fat into like goose fat biscuits, because that's what they will do if they get the opportunity. So you can see here we got 14 goose egg biscuits. We don't want them to do that with the fat. In fact, this render task should be more important. I need that rendering done so I can set that up. So he's going to go render this goose fat into tallow. Come on, hurry up. Right, goose tallow, and then we very quickly go to our kitchen menu. And here, goose tallow, you're not allowed to cook goose tallow at all. And then that way, they won't waste it in food. Because we can use that to make soap. And we're going to make some soap. So, that wood furnace is there, but no one's constructing it at the moment. Somebody should come and construct it eventually. I guess we probably just have a lot of dwarves doing stuff. And we're going to use some of these... some of this stuff over here to make the ashery, and that's where we'll make the soap. I think the other thing we need to consider doing is, I know that there's one dwarf here who's unhappy in our fortress. So if we go to this guy here, Inod, felt lonely, I have to be in a way. So there's nothing that we can do about that one. There's not very much we can do about her being insulted, but she has been unable to pray to her god properly for a while. And that's one of the things that's been upsetting her. Yeah. So let's set up a new temple, and we'll just dedicate it to the god that she's trying to pray to and is unable to pray to. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. We should put some instruments in these temples, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's correct. It's very hard to undo it if you dig it incorrectly, so you have to make sure that we do that, properly. Um, but yeah, let's just get that set up. I think what we could do is we could start making some chests, and we could put these in here. How are our skills doing? So, like in terms of labors, we have metal crafting here. So these are the only guys who are allowing to metal craft, and we can see that they're slowly getting there. Like they're novice metal crafters. Weaponsmithing, youth guys, yeah. So we've gotten these two guys here. We want them to become excellent at it. So let's tell them to just make some more copper stuff. I think we'll start by telling them to make some chests. So copper chests, and let's make 10, which is a big number. No, we'll make 4. We'll make 4. We only need 4. But yeah, I think the boat has sailed on me becoming a full-time streamer, but I still want to stream pretty regularly. I think I've missed the boat though on becoming a full-time streamer. I just need to make time to stream more often than I do at the moment, which is not always easy, but we try. And that's what I've been doing this week, and that's why I've had a few different streams. I'm setting up some bedrooms over here in anticipation of a migrant wave that probably isn't going to arrive. But we can just start digging out some more rooms over here. I mean, what's the worst that happens? We just have a bunch of empty bedrooms. And this gets us up to 40 bedrooms, and that's like double the amount of bedrooms that we even need in the moment. Just future-proof stuffs from that. Okay, so now that this is dug out, we need to assign this to be a temple. So again, the way that we do this is by just going into here, setting up a meeting area. And setting it up like that, and then we can assign a location to it. And we want to assign a new temple, and I'm pretty sure that the god that we were trying to assign it to is Obor here, because that is the god that one dwarf has been unable to pray to. Inod. So we can look at relationships here, and if you go to relationships and then kind of like scroll down, you can see which gods a dwarf worships. So they've been trying to yeah, Obor reigned grand is the god that she was trying to worship, and she's not been able to do that. So now we've got a temple over here for that exact thing. So that's good, and it also gets us a bit more rocks that we can use for things. Speaking of which, I don't think there's any other tasks that were super important. I guess it's probably just all this here. So this mica bridge here, when we pull the lever, this whole thing will just retreat. And then anything that's on there can drop into this channel that leads into the basically into the off the map. Basically, that's the idea. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I can do that will help to make my dwarves a bit happier than they are at the moment? Other than just making sure that they have high quality bedrooms and things? Probably not. We could do with placing some more statues around. Statues help because dwarves who walk past them will be happy. Oh god, there's a lot of family heirlooms that these guys are carrying. I didn't realise that we had all of these in our fortress. The Greater Evaporation. This guy's got a crowd. Who's Rimtar Clashed Basements? Rimtar, who are you? I don't even see you on the list here. There's no others. Items. Yeah, you have a bracelet here. I think that was just one of the artifacts that we were making earlier. Well, not artifacts, but one of the things. And again, no migrants. I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's just because we've not produced enough value in the fortress, which is probably the most likely explanation. I feel our fortress is just very low value. We need to start pumping out some real high value stuff, and I guess the way that we can do that is by using this native aluminium that we have made. So by making stuff out of copper, it's not brilliant, but we've got aluminium. I think we got silver. We got silver as well, right? Bars. So we've got 12 bars of silver. We're going to run out of copper, actually, so let's set up a new tetrahedrite task. So, smelt tetrahedrite ore. And we could probably just set up a task that automatically smelts any tetrahedrite that we have. So if the amount of tetrahedrite available is greater than 10, so there's 10 tetrahedrite available, then smelts 10 tetrahedrite. We'll just let that go on indefinitely. She's not stuck in it. She's just worshipping. She's worshipping, and dwarves take a long time to do things. That's basically the explanation there. But she's not stuck. She's not stuck in the temple. We would know very quickly if she was, because you would start getting the you'd have like the dwarf being unable to eat, and then they slowly starve to death. That's not what's happening. We could make these temples nicer. That's one thing that we could do, and that would also help, I think. And we could build one more temple here. You can kind of see how I spaced it out, right? Like we got space for 4 temples here. These temples are really on the big side. They don't have any instruments in them as well, which we should be trying to do. We should be putting some instruments in. Now that we've gotten some goosebone, probably we're going to be able to make some instruments. So let's just make sure. Is that symmetrical? That looks like it is to me. Just quickly. Yeah, that's on the same level there. Okay, so that's good. So we'll have them dig this out, and then we'll have another temple here. Now, the thing about instruments in this game... oh, we haven't actually got a Craft Dwarf workshop set up, have we? No, we've only got stoneworkers here. Oh no, these are Craft Dwarf workshops. So, instruments are procedurally generated in Dwarf Fortress. So every single time you do this... the instruments that you're going to have available to you are going to differ. So we don't know what instruments they are, and they all have weird names, and we don't know what you need in order to make them. But it looks like there's some single-stage instruments that we can make. So we can make an instrument called a Desrem, and this one uses goosebone. We got one here called an Uzir, and one called an Erith. And this one uses wood, and this one uses stone. We're gonna make use of the goosebone because I just wanna use it. So I'm just gonna set up a basic task here to make Desrems, and I'm just gonna tell them to make 6 because that's the exact number of bones that we've gotten available to us. And once we've done that, we're gonna go back to our temple level. And earlier on, I told them to make some chests out of copper, and we're just gonna put a copper chest into each of these rooms. So we go to our furniture, we go to our chests, and we just place a copper chest. I don't want to place it in the center because I want them to have the open space available to them. So I'm going to place them off to the side like this. And then this is they will store instruments in these chests, which they can then use for performances and things. So if we're lucky, we might get to see some dwarves do some dances, which is always interesting. But yeah, we're out of copper bars, which is why we started the smelting tetrahedrite task. Needs unrotten bone body part. We do have bone body parts. Unless they already rotted away. Oh, okay. So it looks like a goosebone Desrem uses multiple bones in their construction. So we made 2, and we had 6 bones, which I'm guessing means we need 3 per Desrem, maybe, or maybe it's just that. Oh no, somebody else was trying to do the task, but it's already been reserved. Yeah, that's fine. So it's still 1 bone per Desrem. But they should automatically store those instruments inside the temples, which is good because it's another thing that helps to increase the value of the temples as well. So you can see here they've already stored a Desrem inside this temple here. So if we go to our details, so these are the details about the Sunny Sanctum. It's a shrine. It's got a very low value. It's got 1 chest in the common area. It's got 1 instrument, and they want to have at least 5 instruments in there. I think I'll just keep making the Desrems. I could make some other instruments, but it's a good use of our bones, because bones are just not something we'd be using otherwise. Place that last copper chest there, and we can now assign... we need to just quickly extend this one out here a bit. Yeah, we can now assign a new meeting area over here. And then this one here, we can then just make that into a new temple. And we've gotten a temple for Baal. I know this. We've gotten a temple for this guy. We've gotten a temple for Obor. So I think the next one will be... Just whoever's got the most worshippers is usually the best answer to go for. There are some religions here as well. I don't know if this, maybe this, it doesn't really matter. We'll just go for Ubal Vault Veiled. So this is the god of rumors, and he is called Ubal Vault Veiled, the Knot of Dusk even. And his shrine has been called the Confusing Shrine. So yeah, we've got the Confusing Shrine. We've got another one over here. So yeah, those will all be there. And I think whilst we're not mining anything else, what we should probably do is just smooth all of this out. Because again, this will just increase the value of the temple, make people want to come here, and make people happier for worshipping in them. So let's just smooth all of this out as well. And then we can start engraving as well if we really want to, but we'll just do this for now. Like so. We could smooth out this entire level, but I'm just going to focus on the temples for now. Like the actual temple areas themselves, not the corridors. But eventually I would like to have statues and things all the way down here. I specifically build temples to the gods that have the most worshippers, because they're the ones that are most likely to be called up. But you can get an obscene amount of gods in your fortress, because dwarves will worship all sorts of things. So as your fortress gets bigger, you just have to keep building more and more temples. Eventually, if a god has enough worshippers, so let's just have a look. So these are types of specific gods, but you can actually also have like religions. Which is where they worship a specific god, but it's a more kind of organized faith, I guess. And in those situations, when they got enough followers, they'll actually petition you to build them a temple. They will request that you build them a temple. So we might get one of those later. And usually if they ask you to do that, they also want you to assign somebody to be like a formal priest of the religion. And it's always really funny as well, because like... the titles that they use for the priests are also procedurally generated. So, and it's also usually based on whatever the religion's about. So, like, if it's a god of fertility or whatever, they'll have a name that's like really strange, or like a god of suicide, because they can worship like that can be one of the things that the god is associated with, one of its spheres. So I remember one fortress where I had exactly this happen, and the temple, the head priest was called the Holy Apple. So they needed me to appoint a Holy Apple to lead worship inside the fortress for that temple. So, just how it goes. Having trouble. I'm just going to cancel that. No. Set that to 10. Having trouble finding food for the prepare food task. The other thing that we should do, by the way, now that we've got some leather, is we should make a shield. Just going to tell them to make a single shield. By the way, one of the things that differentiates elves from dwarves is that elves don't worship gods, they worship the Force. Because they're silly like that. Imagine not having individual gods. And also, if dwarves belong to other civilizations, they will have other gods. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that can happen involving them. A bunch of our geese are just grown up into adult geese. So that means that we can slaughter more of our geese. Let's just slaughter 2 more of them. Okay, so needs pump helmet spawn. How is that true? Oh, I know why that's true. It's because you haven't started the brew drinks task, because you're currently sitting on 188 drinks, so you're not going to start that task until there's a lot less drinks. But that's fine. We'll just sit on that for now. Eventually, dwarves will eat pump helmets, and then that'll be another way that we get seeds. So let's click on one of these temples now. So we were talking about that value earlier. So this one is now gone up to being a value of 1,000, and that's just from smoothing the walls. Just smoothing the walls down has massively increased the value of this temple. I'm not sure if we can check. Can we check the value of this area? I don't think so, because it's not a location. It's just a dining hall. We could assign it as a inn or a tavern, but it's probably not a wise idea for a variety of reasons. The only thing that's really missing from this map would be like access to a river, because then we could use that to build like our hospital, which is something that we need to do. I guess what we could do is we could open the caverns and go from there, because there's a good chance that there'll be water in the caverns, and then we could build a hospital, because that's the next thing that I'm thinking that we could do with. The other thing was that I set up this ages ago and we never made any soap, so let's just make a... how much goose fat do we have at the moment in terms of tallow? So tallow is on this screen under G for glob. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Glob, 24. So we can make 24 bars of soap, which means that we need 24 bits of ash, which means we need 24 bits of lye. So let's just do that. Make ash. I want to make 24. So we'll start that task first. That's going to take us a lot of. That's going to take up a lot of wood, so we should cut down some more trees. Not only is it good to cut down trees, it pisses off the wildlife, including elves, if any are around. So, always be cutting down trees. Although we do have a full storage of trees over here, by the looks of things. But yeah. So this is ash. So they burn that wood into ash, and then once they've made the ash, they can turn that into lye, which is what they use in order to make soap. So it's lye and tallow combined in order to make soap. Sorry, it's just being a bit slow with the autosaves. But still, things are relative. I was about to say things are relatively calm, and the dead have arrived. And Necromancer has come with them. So yeah, this is what we were worrying about. So the dead walk, run while you can. There is a bunch of stuff that we've left on the surface. It's just going to be stuck out there. But what we want to do is we want to get everybody inside ASAP. So let's just have a look and see. Probably the only person who is outside at the moment is going to be... Why are you trying to conduct... Oh, you're conducting a meeting with someone who's shouting at you because they're upset. So where is our woodcutter? He's currently smelting tetrahedrite ore, which means that's good. He hasn't gone outside. So all we need to do is just quickly go to our labours, say that we don't want anybody to cut down any trees anymore, because I don't want to give them a reason to go outside. And then we're going to close the gates of the fortress, both of the gates, starting with the outer gates, but also the inner gates as well. Yeah. So these animals are trapped outside, and the dead could potentially get into here. I'm not sure whether they'll be able to figure out the path. They should be able to. But yeah. We're probably just going to have like the undead like walking around on the outskirts of our fortress for a bit, because there's very little we can do about it right now. Unfortunately. There are some things that we could do in order to get rid of them. Looks like they've probably... Oh, no, that was the cat that went dead. So we've gotten 3 sallow corpses, a necromancer, and a goblin crossbowman corpse. So what they'll likely do is that they're going to wander around the map and they're going to start hunting any animals that they see, because the undead are opposed to life, and that includes just like random wildlife. So they'll probably go and attack... I think there was rhinoceroses on the map earlier. That's like wild boars at the moment, so they'll probably go and try and kill them. Although it looks like... I think this guy's like missing a bunch of limbs. Cannot breathe, vision lost. Okay. Oh god, okay. So, yeah, this wall of purple text, that's all bits of her body that are missing. So she's lost a lot of her muscle. God, this is so typical of Dwarf Fortress. Like, it's telling us that his 5th toe right foot skin is gone. Her 4th toe left foot skin is gone. Her 4th toe right foot skin is gone. Her 3rd toe left foot skin is gone. Her 3rd toe right foot skin is gone. And so on and so on. Her thumb, right hand skin, her nose's skin is gone. So she's lost basically all of her skin. Her guts are gone. Her liver is gone. Her stomach is gone. Her pancreas is gone. Her spleen is gone. Her right kidney is gone. Her left kidney is gone. Her right shoulder's muscle is gone. Her left shoulder's muscle is gone. She still has a neck and a lower body, and upper body and head. In terms of items, she is carrying a bronze crossbow, although she's not wearing any actual armor of any description. But if you were to send somebody outside, it would definitely kill her. So yeah, it's a very, very slow zombie, which is not surprising. Right, so we need to think about what we're going to do now. Then, so now that the undead have appeared, and because we might be stuck like this for a time, I think it's time for us to dig deeper. We want to dig deeper into the fortress, and the reason we want to do that is because we now have a good reason to go and find the caverns. We want to breach the caverns because we don't have access to any wood whilst the undead are walking around outside there. You know, we can't go outside to go and cut more wood if the undead are just sitting there. So, you know, we need to consider that. So let's start digging our staircase down, and just seeing if we can locate the entrance to the caverns. And once we've done that, we'll then consider a plan to get us out of the situation. It's unfortunate that our population is so small because I don't think we're going to be able to put up a military fight, but there are ways that we can deal with the necromancer. And you know, if we do it properly, we might be able to sacrifice some zombies to the volcano if we do it right. Obsidian, obsidian. That is interesting. Usually you don't get like big layers of obsidian. Um, are we like channeling through a bunch of like lava? Have we just channeled through like a natural pool of lava? Is that what's happened? Slate. So yeah, you can see here they're just killing like these stray, like random goslings that are on the surface. Oh god, why is our weaponsmith up here? How did he even get outside? Why was he outside is the question. Okay, well I have no way of saving him. So I think he is dead. Uh, Hopefully... We had 2 legendary weaponsmiths, so it's not the end of the world. Although this was the one that wasn't as unhappy. The other one was unhappy, this one isn't. Uh... uh Can we save this weaponsmith at all? I mean, we can. There are ways to do it. What would be the safest way of doing it? The safest way of doing it would be to make a trap entrance. So we would basically make a corridor that leads inside the fortress, but then we would line the corridor with traps. But that's going to take us some time to do. And we don't have a lot of wood for making cages. Well, we do have some wood, so we could make a bunch. We don't need to make any barrels or anything, so they're not going to worry about that. Let's cancel this order to make ash, because we now need the wood more than we need the ash. And let's think about this. So what we could do is we can make an entrance into the fortress that goes through a bunch of obstacles. And we could then potentially have the zombies just get killed by the traps that we set. One thing that we have going in our favour is that we do have 1 legendary weaponsmith who's still inside the fortress, as far as I know. This one here. So this one here is the other legendary weaponsmith, and they're inside the fortress. So what we would do is we could set up a task to go and make a bunch of weapons. So just out of copper, because that's all we really have access to. But a bunch of copper weapons, and then we can make a hallway full of traps. And we could also stick some cage traps in there, just see if we captured them. But I think primarily, let's say we're to make 9 cages out of wood. Wooden cages are fine. Wooden cage. We'll make 9. And then let's make 10 short swords, maybe? Or maybe we should make some serrated discs or just something like that. It doesn't really matter. Anything like that would be fine. But let's make 10 short swords out of copper. So we would go over to here and we would say copper short sword, and then we would make 10 of them. And then we would need to set up where we want to make our secret entrance to the fortress. So I think ideally we want it as far away from where our dwarves were actually doing stuff. So why don't we dig out a corridor over here? Like this. It'd also just be good to know what's on this level, because I'm not sure what is on an obsidian level. This could be the entrance to the caverns, by the way. Although I feel like we're still a bit too high up to have the actual caverns be here. But still, and it'd be nice to mine out some obsidian, because we could use that to make some nice stuff. It's a very satisfying rock, is obsidian. So they'll dig out that corridor for us there. And basically what we could do is we can make a false entrance here. We set up a bridge on this end here. And we set up a bridge on this side as well. And then we can lure them into the fortress by basically opening up the fortress, so they'll think, here's a way inside. But actually, the moment that they get inside, they will die. And yeah, they've killed all the yaks and stuff up here. Thankfully, the... Oh yeah, this is because this is somebody's pet. I was wondering why this animal had a name. But yeah, we got loads of corpses here, unfortunately. And it looks like the weaponsmith has been caught. Not yet, he's still dodging. He will eventually get tired and will be caught, so we need to move relatively quickly. But obviously there's limits to how quickly we can do that. We also need to check how many mechanisms we got. We got 6, 7, 8, 9... Got 8 plus 7, so that's 15 mechanisms. That'll be enough for what we're trying to do. So what we want to do first is we just want to set up a bunch of cage traps over here. Stray cow has been killed. Stray yak cow has been killed. God, I wish these guys were a bit faster at mining. It'd be really useful. Earl von Vummer, if you could hurry yourself up a little bit. Oh, please do not go and run off and just start doing something else. Right, so now we want to set up some traps. So these are the traps that we can do. So what we can just do is we can set up some weapon traps. And I don't think we need to set up anything to trigger them. I think they should just be triggered automatically. But it'd be fun to see. And we've got some master-crafted weapons. So basically, we set one up here, for example. We'll just use granite mechanisms, and then we use two of the short swords. We'll do another one here, using two of those short swords. So that when they walk across this, they will get sliced by the weapons automatically. And we've got our cages up there, so when they step on these, they'll get caged. It's a pretty impenetrable defense, honestly. So this is a little bit cheesy, I guess, but hey, you know, kill me. What can I say? I'm a cheesy guy. And we also currently have only 18 dwarves in the fortress, so I can't exactly go head to toe with these guys. I think we gotta utilize some of Dwarf Fortress's weirder mechanics in order to take advantage of this. So yeah, we'll set up those cage traps there. Set up some more. Sorry, having a bit of a coughing fit today. Set up 2 more there. We'll just set up 2 more here. And that's all of our swords. We could make some more copper swords. In fact, let's do it. Let's just make 2 and then 4, 6, 8. We'll make 8 more copper short swords. It also increases the value of our fortress because these are very valuable and highly constructed swords. So yeah. Also, this is red sand. Excellent. Alright, we're also going to need just more mechanisms. And I think from now on we want to make sure that we're making mechanisms out of mica. So let's go to mechanisms. I think did we already set up an order for mechanisms? No, we don't have a repeating order for mechanisms. So let's say mechanism. We want to make them out of rock. And let's set this to be 20. And if the amount of mechanisms is less than 20, make 20 new mechanisms. And then we'll set that to be mica, because that is a magma safe mechanism. It's lovely to see the dwarves come together to work on a joint project like this. Okay, so they're still setting up the traps. It takes them a while to do this. I think these ones have been set up now, but yeah, we want to keep doing that. They're still making the mechanisms as we speak. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to build some bridges. So let's set those up now. So we want to have a bridge that closes this direction here. And we'll just make this out of... We can make it out of obsidian. Although it'd probably be better to make it out of blocks. So we'll just use these blocks here, because we don't need this to be lava proof or anything. And then we'll make another one just over here, which is the same again. And we'll make this out of this here. Let's dig a room that will be like the... I would call this the control room. So this controls the entire mechanism. So we'll have a room just up here where we'll be able to put a couple of levers, which will control the bridges that open up these here. And we'll also just put a door here, because why not? We've got loads of spare doors. So somebody come and do that. Now we want to go to our machines. We want to go to our lever. We want to put one of them here. We don't have any yet because nobody has made any mechanisms yet. Excellent. But they should be on it. Yeah, so this guy started to make some mechanisms here. So constructions. Where is it? Machines. It's in machines. I always forget where it is. So that's the first mechanism down. We're going to need at least 1, 2, 3. So we need to link this one to this one first. There's another mechanism there. Excellent. Let's get that second lever up here. And then let's also link you to here. So that'll be linked. And then we'll link this one over here. I don't think we have really time to do anything else. We want to try and save that legendary weaponsmith if we're able to. You're sleeping unconscious. It looks like the necromancer has gone home, which is good. These guys are just hanging around in here. Have they trapped themselves inside of here? No, they haven't, because they can get up here. And what about the goblin crossbowman? You're over here. I can't remember the name of the one who was trapped. Yeah, this guy. You were trying to attend a meeting, but you can't because you're stuck on the edge of the map. And the zombies aren't pathing towards you, which is interesting. I don't know if maybe they are constantly. It's just taking them a very long time to do it. So that's being linked there. Someone should be setting that up now. Yeah, that's got you are now linked. So we can close this bridge here. And the goblin crossbowman is just attacking random wildlife inside. Let's also put a bit of a bait in here. So let's stick up a rope here. Just a pigtail rope will do. And we'll stick a we'll probably just stick a goose on the end of the rope. This dwarven child is here playing make-believe and setting up our rope for us. So we just, doesn't really matter. We'll just use a random goose. You are the unlucky goose. So they'll be roped up here and ready to be tortured by the. Oh, I just realised that the text box hasn't been showing up on stream. So yeah, that's going to be confusing for anybody who's watching this later on. So I apologise for that. As ever, I'm a very competent streamer. Link you to not that bridge, the other bridge. So somebody will come and link this one to that one. And then I think what we need to do is we need to set up a civilian alert. Okay, so we need to assign a burrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to just establish a burrow that's going to stretch inside just from here all the way down, all of that. Also all of that. This lever as well. This is basically just like a civil alert, so that if this happens again, we can tell our dwarves to get inside, so that they won't hang around outside like some of our dwarves were. So we can tell them to all just rush inside. So it's just like a panic sort of thing that we need to make sure that they're on. Oh, this doesn't go down multiple layers. Do we really have to do this one layer at a time? That's really irritating. Right, so I think that should be basically everything there, right? I mean, it's not, doesn't include this. I want them to be able to do that. Okay, so this is just panic. And then using Dwarf Hack, we can set up a... We can activate a civilian alarm. So now that all of these are open, we're going to tell a miner to come and mine this here. So we're going to tell them to open up this here. Has this been linked yet? No, this hasn't been linked yet. Okay. Premature. We need this to be linked first. So this guy's doing exactly that. Daston here, the farmer. Baron's lover, the 75-year-old. Everything is fine, he says. That's his internal monologue at the moment. Okay, so this is linked. Now, what we can do is we can now dig this out like we were going to do before. So this should be linked. Alright, I've told all the dwarves to do that. So this dwarf is now inside. So now we can close this. We can close this here, or this lever. Then we can clear the civilian alerts. Now everybody is inside the fortress. Now they're all actually inside the fortress. And nobody should be outside of it. But the goose is sitting here and should hopefully attract the attention of the zombies. The zombies should want to try and kill the goose. Although it doesn't look like they're that interested in it at the moment. Are you actually able to get out of here? Have you managed to trap yourself in here? I mean, you should be able to. You should be able to climb up here to get out. I'm not sure if it's just that there's some other things going on. Maybe they changed the... What are you fighting? Now, this is when you were fighting the horse. Aha! Right. So here we go. So this is the first one that's come in here. And she has gotten attacked by the copper traps, so it doesn't look like much happened there. But it's fine. The main defense is actually going to be the cages. Oh! Okay, interesting. Did these actually get loaded with cages, or is it just lying to me? I think I did this before, where I made the cage traps, but it didn't actually load the traps. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I guess it's fine. In any case, we've gotten all our dwarves inside. It just means that we have this guy who's going to hang around here. Eventually, he might cross back over the traps. Let me just check that. I guess... Cages. Did they actually load the cages? I don't think they did they? No, you are here. So, I guess they must have changed how cage traps works. Maybe you can't use wooden cage traps, or maybe he's just able to dodge because he is a smart undead. I'm not sure. In any case, we could trap him inside this corridor. That did injure him that time. But, okay, so we fractured her upper left leg, which isn't much. These kind of zombies are really nasty. They're really difficult to kill. But hey, I guess we can always load in another goose if we needed to. The most important thing is that we've now gotten our dwarf inside the fortress, so we can now dig down and kind of continue with what we were actually trying to do, which was to access the caverns. So let's just dig down to about here, and let's just pause the game real quick, and then just make sure that we're digging our staircases the way that we like to dig them. Like so, yeah. And it looks like they're fighting vultures at the moment. They're just going to kill everything that's on the surface, because that's what they do. You know, if we breach the caverns, then that's one potential way of dealing with them. Because when you breach the caverns, it'll start encouraging monster hunters to arrive in your fortress. And the monster hunters will, you know, inevitably want to... In fact, what we can do is we can pull this lever here. So pull this. We'll close this here, and then we'll try and set up some better traps. And you know, actually deal with the... Actually deal with them for real this time. No cavern yet. Olivine, that is a nicely coloured stone. And Gabbro. This is a new level. We should dig this out and just like see if we can find some new metals on it, perhaps. Right, so we closed this, so now we can open this. And we have unfortunately got a stray mutilated corpse. We could just dump it into the lava, although that is not entirely risk-free. But I mean, it's fine. You know, we'll have some miasma from this eventually when it rots, but we'll deal with that as and when it happens. I'm more interested in why these cages didn't work. Oh, right, okay, yeah, I did this exact same thing previously. So anybody who's seen me stream this before, they already know what I've done because I'm an idiot. But basically, I didn't place cage traps; I just placed cages on the floor. Like an idiot, I just constructed a bunch of cages. And again, I just you know, it's been a long time since I played this. I should have remembered this from the last time I played it. But you know, it's fine. We can just quickly resolve that, and then we can set it up for round 2 of try and trap them in cages. No wonder they didn't work. I can't believe that I managed to do that again. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to go to traps, and then we want to get a cage trap, which has a different icon. Like so, alright? So we want to make actual cage traps, and not just cages. Oh my god, I am a dummy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anyone who wanted a more professional streamer. You'll just have to put up with me for now. And oh, you can see the nasty gas from the dying, rotting goose, and it's probably going to upset a bunch of the dwarves. That's fine. We just need them to do this relatively quickly. We'll make a dumping zone somewhere where they can put the where they can put that goose. I should have set this up with the lava whilst I had the lava. I can't really dig it out now. Oh, actually, what I could do... No, I'd need to channel. Need to channel, and that'd be dangerous. Let's be a bit cheeky. Okay, so what we just done is I've just made a dumping spot over this. So we just told them to dump it into the lava, basically. Which, you know, resolves that. It just gets rid of those... gets rid of that. And then nasty corpse bits that are just on the fortress floor. So there's cage traps underneath all of these. Yep. Cage traps ahoy. Okay, let's try this again. So let's assign another goose to the trap. I want to dig this out in this direction. And in this direction. I just want to see if we got any more stuff to mine. I think we don't have access to auto miner anymore, do we? Yeah. So we'll set that up on that level. So we stuck a new goose on the rope here. So what we can do is we can now pull this lever here, and then pull this one here. Now the goose is exposed to the dangers of the outside world. Are these cage traps actually loaded? Hold on, I have a feeling that they aren't. Oh well, let's just see what happens. I'm not that interested in what's going on there. Kimberlite. Is Kimberlite useful for anything? For some reason, that name rings a bell. I think Kimberlite is... I think Kimberlite is... it's a stone that has a diamond inside of it, or am I wrong? There's something about Kimberlite that makes it... Yeah, Kimberlite contains diamonds, so there's a potential to find diamonds within Kimberlite. It's the only source of diamonds within the game, because we don't have the technology to manufacture them. I mean, I guess we could dig it out and just see what we can find. But yeah, just tell them to automatically mine the tetrahedrite. There'll be a lot of that there. Here comes round 2. Let's see if the cages actually work this time. I have a feeling that they're not going to work. I feel like these cage traps haven't actually been loaded, which is why all the cages are just sitting outside the traps at the moment. Yeah, it looks like they weren't loaded. I don't know why they didn't load them. Oh well, I guess it's another goose that's just died. I guess we'll just keep killing geese over and over and over again. We're basically just sacrificing the geese to the zombies at this point, expecting anything to change. Oh god. Just because they built the cage doesn't mean that they've actually loaded the cage into the trap. Hey, at least we're getting some more tetrahedrite, eh? This guy's got 3 children. Yeah, this is the one who we fractured their left upper arm earlier. Slate, olivine, gabbro. Let's dig out this kimberlite here. I want to see if there's any diamonds in here. It'd also be interesting digging up in that direction. It's winter, so we didn't even get a trader because of the siege from the zombies as well, and we're running low on drinks. Just dig in that direction, eh? And I guess is the cavern even further down, or have we just been really... I guess you could say quote-unquote lucky. Yeah, it must be even further down. I haven't been looking at the elevation. I haven't been paying attention to that. I should have been. Because then I would know that the cavern is definitely further down than we've been digging. But that's fine. We'll dig down even further. Because we do want to try and locate the cavern. And that'll be a good place to take this, I think. There's where the kimberlite goes. Red zircon. We've got some zircons here. I don't ever really do anything with the gems that I find. I should probably start doing that. Speaking of which, I want to check and see how old these kids are. So you're 2 years old. You're 4 years old. You're 3 years old. That's unfortunate. So none of those kids are close to being military age. You know, or sacrificable to zombies age. I'm hoping eventually this guy decides to leave the cage again. I mean, he should do eventually. Right, so what we got here? Some more tetrahedrites. This is native gold. Okay, excellent. So we got an access to gold here. So we'll definitely dig that out. Let's start building, doing that there. This is schist. Yeah, so he's just crossed over the sword traps again and he's leaving. So I guess we can do round 3 of making sure that the cages are actually loaded. And then we can place the third and hopefully final goose into the what at this point can only be described as a torture machine, a goose torture machine. And make sure that we dump all the dead goose bits as well so that they're not going to stink up the corridor. Alright, we'll just leave that be, because if we leave that be, then they should eventually load the traps. Like, let's have a look and see at our tasks. We have got some dwarves who don't have any tasks at the moment. Most of them are just smelting tetrahedrites, which is fine. Oh, I guess we could do some other stuff, like we could start filling those bedrooms in, the ones that we dug out earlier. So if we go up here, we could start putting some beds in here. Use close material, yeah, just start placing those doors down. Right, there we go. Alright, well, we found the cavern. We managed to basically dig past the cavern, which is incredible. So what we could actually just do is we could place a construction and then just a wall here. Cancel that. I don't want you to construct it out of random materials. So we could place a wall here. And we'll just use diorites because that's the close material there. We've got sphalerite, which I think is an ore of nickel. I can't remember exactly. Sphalerite, is that an ore of nickel? Sphalerite is zinc. That's it, yeah. I knew it was something weird. Something you don't see very often. Then we construct another wall here, and again, just use diorites because that's the closest material. I'm a big fan of this music, by the way, the music that they added to the game. I think they did an excellent job on it. Like the updated soundtrack is really nice. I need someone to prioritize that. I think you're the one who's on the way to do it. Alright, so we've basically just blocked off the caverns again. So we've got access to the caverns, but we're not going to have anything nasty crawl into the fortress unexpectedly. And yeah, we're in a pretty decent position, all things considered. Be nice if these cages actually get loaded with traps. I'm not sure what the hold up on that is. I'm not sure if maybe just placing some more down would encourage them to actually do it. Any corks with mechanics label enabled. Is this something where I've just huh. No, I don't have a work detail for it, so that means that anybody should do it. Let's just check something real quick. I think they're just being slow. I think there's just too many things that they're trying to do at the same time, and that's slowing them down significantly. But if we set up a work detail for mechanics, just set that as everybody does this, just to make sure that it's clear that I don't really care who makes or does mechanisms. Just as long as it gets done. And hopefully somebody will come and fill those in. Yeah, because we're running out of wood. Although, again, because we now got access to the caverns, we can go and cut down some of the cavern trees. I guess you could call them trees. The cavern tower caps. So let's have a look and see if there's anything that's too dangerous on the surface or outside. We don't even see any animals in the caverns at the moment. So let's just start planning a way into the caverns. Like so. We're also really low in drinks again. But they are starting to brew drinks from tasks, so that should be fine. Ooh. So there's some hidden fun stuff over here. Don't know how much you guys are familiar with that, but there is some. Just guess you'll have to take my word for it for the time being. Don't see anything dangerous in the caverns at the moment. So it should just be safe to open this up for a little bit, send them down to go cut down some trees, and then close it back up again. What we'll do is we'll stick a bridge here. I don't use closest material. Use I don't know, make it out of yeah, just make it out of that side box, it's fine. Okay, so I'm thinking that I might call it here then. It's been almost exactly 2 hours. So thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll be back with more Dwarf Fortress soon, where we will finally resolve the zombie problem, and we'll continue from there. I'm pretty sure that I just need to wait for them to load the cage traps. I'm just being impatient, basically. I just don't remember it taking this long. Like usually, my experience has been in the past that they're pretty quick to do this kind of stuff, but I guess with the new labor system, maybe they don't consider it a priority. They're trying to do all these other tasks instead. So yeah, maybe we need some people who only do mechanics. In fact, what I'm going to do before I finish the stream is I'm going to do a little experiment. We're going to go and select. I don't know, this manager here. No, not the manager. We will select the bookkeeper. No, not the bookkeeper either. We will select we'll select Kaladin here. So we're going to tell Kaladin that he only does mechanics and that's his only job. And we'll just see if he very quickly goes and does that for us. So yeah, we'll see what Kaladin does in a second. So let's just quickly check. We can let it run for a second. Stop doing that. We'll just see if he does it. But then once we've done that, we'll end the stream. Kaladin. Oh, he's gone to go drink. Okay, well, we'll continue this experiment later. I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I hope to catch you guys again next time, whenever that is. And goodbye for now.